Carrie Ann pointed out that I said it wrong. In the rundown, I didn't write IAC 2017. I wrote IAC 2107. So that's a lot of IACs that we're going to be attending between here and there.
Are we even going to be live streaming at that point? Are we
We'll
gonna
be
like
live hologramming?
Holo streaming?
Well, I mean, we got one right now.
Or
we
just
got our
Through our
hologram.
Google Eyes, though. The cameras will be in our eyes by that point. Oh, man. And that's when we'll have the announcement of the working warp drive.
Sorry for whipping through the questions, but that was a long show, and I didn't want it to.
Sorry about
eat,
that.
I didn't want to eat into 2 hours. Yeah. No, it was a great interview, though. I think it was worth it. Yeah,
really
it was a lot of fun. So it was worth it. But I didn't. Again, I don't want this show. You look at on YouTube and go, here's a 2-hour video, and you nope out of it without even watching, right? So I want to make sure we don't hit the. I think we need to possibly shorten these shows up even more. I think we need to be under the 1 hour mark, but I'm not sure yet. I don't know. I have not read The High Frontier, Vax Headroom. Also, for those of you watching on YouTube, we are trying something new. I was monitoring the chat room, and it looks like we've got a few issues on YouTube this week. There is no archive on YouTube. That's because we're using their ultra low latency setting. And with that, we lose the ability to archive on YouTube, so you can't go back in time. But the latency is only about 2 seconds. However, there were enough users with issues that I think we're going to go back to just their low latency setting, which will bring us back to about 11 seconds, which is still better than most of the other providers, but at least it was stable and you can go back in time and things like that. But I wanted to try it out, see if it worked. Seems like it, yeah. Green Jim, I might nope out of a 2-hour show, but many don't. Yeah, but I think my concern is that I don't know that I would nope out of a 2-hour show. In fact, I would not. I would probably watch it, especially if it was a topic I was interested in. But I think a lot of people would, and that's my concern. Mm-hmm. I could be wrong too, right? If I'm wrong, then screw it. We'll do a 2-hour show. I don't care. But I don't think I am. I feel like people are complaining that shows are too long as is, and they're only 80 minutes long. So 120. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. I'm hearing.
This was another one of those examples of it's okay to go long when the content dictates. I mean,
sure.
We just had
Jerry
Carr on the show.
Oh, yeah,
talking about all these experiences, and I'm sorry, you know what I'm talking.
Totally agree. And the show was the right length. I'm not saying this show was bad. What I'm saying is we were racing through comments because I didn't want to create a situation where the show looked overwhelming before you ever even got into it, if that makes sense. So I was trying to contain the show a little bit and not let it go too crazy whack over to the side. But maybe it doesn't matter. Frankly, maybe we just let shows go 2 hours if they need to go 2 hours and we call it a day. I think I might be okay with that. I'm just thinking out loud here. All right. What's the drink of choice for IAC? Go ahead.
Just in this particular case for this particular show, since I feel like this one was special, we might want to consider uploading just the interview segment as a standalone thing, in addition to the live show that we would normally upload. Just a thought.
Yeah. So that's not a bad idea. The reason I shy away from doing special one-offs like that is that consistency is also important, and knowing what you're getting into, like when you subscribe to a channel, and if you're we are changing the show quite a bit, but if we're consistently doing weird one-offs like that, I think it makes it harder, if that makes sense. So, all right, let's get through these new news items.
Should I get off the set?
Yeah, Jared, let's kick you off.
Hope everybody liked that interview today. That was
great.
That was really
great.
Fun.
That was really great.
Jerry's a wild and crazy guy. So, yeah, that was. Whoops! I learned a lot researching too. So that was a really fun, every aspect interview to do. So, I learned something.
So did his son.
I'm a learned child. What?
So did his son.
Oh, okay. Well, what do you know? All right, I'm turning my microphone.
Oh, Oh, thanks, buddy. Oh, I can feel you from all this.
Also, I really liked the interaction on the news up front, Mike. I thought that was pretty cool when we're both talking about it and getting multiple opinions. And we should have a talk about the fueling because I see where you're coming from, and the answer is no. All right, let's start with the Osiris Rex stuff. You ready?
You're a dick.
Okay.
It's true. It's true.
All right.
Ready, Space Mike?
I think so. Wait. Give me just one more second.
Not instilling confidence.
Okay. I'm ready now.
Not feeling it.
Ready whenever you are.
All right. No, I don't need those.
She does.
There's even more news that we didn't get a chance to get to on this Orbit 10.35. Mike, why don't you go ahead and tell me about the awesomely named OSIRIS-REx mission?
It is awesome.
That's right. NASA's OSIRIS-REx spacecraft actually did a flyby near the Earth on Friday, which was a rendezvous that was needed in order to intercept asteroid Bennu, which is a near-Earth asteroid it's going to be rendezvousing with next year. And this was really cool. It's something that was really awesome about this is it's been about 1 year since it launched from Cape Canaveral aboard an Atlas V rocket on September 8th, 2016. And when it returned near Earth on Friday, it came to about 17,237 kilometers from the surface of Earth, or about 10,771 miles over the planet. And the spacecraft made its closest approach to Earth around 1652 Coordinated Universal Time, passing over Antarctica. Now, navigators confirmed that during that flyby, OSIRIS-REx's trajectory would not go near any of its other satellites or space junk that are being tracked in Earth orbit, so everything was going to be fine with that. And the spacecraft was also going to begin collecting imagery and calibration data with its science instruments around 4 hours after its closest approach, looking back at Earth. And this is going to tell NASA if there's any last-minute problems with any of OSIRIS-REx's instruments, which seem to have performed as expected and are going to be taking pictures looking back at the Earth and Moon over the next 10 days. And they're going to release some of those images from the flyby on Tuesday. Now, the spacecraft got a gravitational assist from the encounter, and it's used Earth's gravity to redirect its orbit towards Bennu. And that inclination that you saw in there is enough of a change to get to the inclination that asteroid Bennu is at, which is about 6 degrees inclined from the plane of Earth orbit. So this is going to put it on track to begin its science operations around August of 2018 next year, and then rendezvous with and go into orbit around asteroid Bennu in November of 2018. So very excited for this mission and very excited to see some of the imagery from its flyby.
All right, thanks, Mike. On Orbit 10.35, Jared had a great interview with Skylab astronaut Jerry Carr. If you're interested with that, feel free to join us live every Saturday at 1800 UTC.
Cool, that one works.
You know what? Can I be a nitpick here? Do you guys mind if I do that just one more time? I feel like I just tripped over my words a lot.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, go ahead. We can do it again. That's the magic of post-production.
Is that okay with you, Carrie Ann? I feel like you did great going in and out of that one. That was perfect.
I mean, really, we don't even need my in and out then. I mean, the way it's edited.
Oh,
Unless you want
I guess
me
that's
to.
true. The way that you went in and out of that was perfect. We can keep that if you're just gonna, cut right back and take it to from.
Well, let's do
from
it
my
all the way
camera.
from the top, and then if I need to edit them, we can.
Okay. Sorry, guys. I just.
No,
it's fine.
no, you're fine.
Yeah.
All right. Ready whenever you are.
There's even more news that we didn't get a chance to in this Orbit 10.35. Mike, why don't you go ahead and tell me a little bit more about this awesomely named OSIRIS-REx NASA mission?
Yeah, it's so awesome. NASA's OSIRIS-REx mission actually performed a maneuver that is needed to rendezvous with asteroid Bennu. And what it did is it had an Earth flyby on Friday, and it came really close to the planet and was able to take some really awesome imagery, according to NASA as well. Now, it launched last year from Cape Canaveral, riding on board I'm sorry, never mind. Let's.
Are you sure?
No, you try it again.
First one's
fine.
good, or let's do it just one more time.
Let's do it one more time. We have some time. We can make this happen. Let's make sure you're happy with it. All right. So now I am going to do one of these because now I do need to know there's an big, huge edit mark in between all of this stuff. All right. Whenever you're ready.
There's even more news that we didn't get a chance to on Orbit 10.35. Mike, why don't you tell me a little bit more about this awesomely named OSIRIS-REx mission?
Well, NASA's OSIRIS-REx spacecraft, which is going to be rendezvousing with asteroid Bennu and taking samples for scientists, has performed a maneuver which is an Earth flyby, which happened on Friday, that gave it a gravity assist to help it rendezvous with asteroid Bennu. And OSIRIS-REx launched about a year ago from Cape Canaveral aboard an Atlas V rocket, and that launched on September 8th, 2016. Now, OSIRIS-REx returned near Earth on Friday, and it took the probe about 17,237 kilometers or 10,771 miles over the planet. And the spacecraft made its closest approach to Earth around 1652 Coordinated Universal Time, passing over Antarctica just south of Cape Horn in Chile. Now, navigators were able to confirm that the OSIRIS-REx spacecraft's trajectory during this flyby would not go near any satellites or space junk that are being tracked in Earth orbit. And the spacecraft also began collecting imagery and was calibrating its instruments and making sure that there's any problems with its instruments. And that occurred about 4 hours after the closest approach to Earth. Now, after this, NASA seems to have said that everything performed as expected with these calibration and imagery tests, and they're going to be looking back at Earth and the Moon for up to 10 days after this encounter, capturing as many close-up and long-range views as they can. And they're going to send out images that they will release on Tuesday of the closest approach to Earth on Tuesday. Now, the spacecraft got a gravitational assist from this encounter using Earth's gravity, and it's going to redirect its orbit toward asteroid Bennu, which is actually inclined to Earth's orbit about 6 degrees from the plane that Earth is orbited around the sun. And this was able to have the spacecraft do this without any assistance from its own onboard fuel. And without this gravity assist, the spacecraft would have been much, much bigger and would have needed a much bigger rocket than the Atlas V in order to do this mission successfully. So it's en route now successfully, and it's going to be entering its science phase in August of 2018, and then rendezvousing with and orbiting around asteroid Bennu in November of 2018, and hopefully returning some awesome data from that mission.
Awesome. Thanks, Mike. On Orbit 10.35, Jared had a great interview with Skylab astronaut Jerry Carr. If you're interested in this or anything else space, feel free to join us live every Saturday at 1800 UTC.
How was that, Mike?
That was much better, I feel.
All right. Great.
Thanks.
We need a Benny cam.
A Benny? Oh, yeah, you do. Ooh. I'm like, no, you don't. Is that in the shot? No. We lost the hologram. I'm totally guessing at how that needs to be framed. See if I guessed correctly. Yeah, I was little Jay Leno. I need to come.
Hold still so I can focus.
God, it's like right up in my face.
You're not cool with that?
You want me to fix it? I feel like there's too much of me in the shot.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like
I'm
there's
not.
too much of everything in the
I'm
shot.
not.
got
I'm
it,
not
yeah,
centered up here.
You got it? Okay.
Well, I mean, either me or somebody else that's in the studio could actually do it. What monkey?
Dear Lord. Yeah, I was having issues too. I was playing with it.
The hell?
What?
That's not updating.
That's neat.
This froze.
Yes.
I've never seen that before.
precisely
That's-
what we're saying.
Also, that's amazing. No, I get it. I look like angry.
No, that's your resting face.
And there's like vertical.
Yeah, reboot the camera.
Before you reboot it, should I get a photo of that?
No.
Are you sure?
The whole internet is stuck with that freaking image right now.
Mean man.
That was amazing watching the camera come up and then go, oh, color balance. Boom.
Yeah, we've got a loading thing happening on the computer.
That's a bit up in my face. Let's come a little wide. We can show a little bit of them. We just, it wasn't centered and, okay, cool. That looks good.
The camera, Ben. Good job.
I did scare the camera. I intimidated the camera.
Focus on the beard.
Tars says, oh, I thought
Focus on the
challenge
beard.
video staring contest.
Oh, Ben will win.
Yeah, I will. I'm naturally squinty. I'll always win the staring, blah, blah, blah. Oops. I'm excited for this
New
story. These
space pod
pictures are,
idea.
yeah?
From Dan TC, monthly space rant with Ben. Do it a la this grinds my gears.
No, it really grinds my gears. What did it? Oh, I scared. Whoa.
Hey, rockets are so dang expensive.
All right, let's do this thing. And I'm sorry. And Dada, I'm going to do like one sentence. It's being like, yeah, I'm talking about Strato Lunch, and then just go to that first image. I won't quite follow my script in the beginning. This is more guidelines than anything else. I don't do scripts.
Yeah. There's even more news that we didn't get a chance to get to in Orbit 10.35, although you did sort of say something about this in the main show.
I alluded to it.
And then everyone had to wait like a week to get to this.
You're welcome, Internet.
Ben, why don't you tell us a little bit about Stratolaunch? What's going on over there?
Well, we haven't talked about Stratolaunch for a while, although they are also part of Northrop Grumman. They've successfully tested. My camera's over here.
Yep.
So we're going to go ahead and try that again because I
Just
went over
feel
here.
free to look at any camera you want.
I'm going to look for the red light and then look not where and then like that, and then I'll go like this, right? And then I'll go like this.
Like, did we not just spend time
I know.
doing that? Which camera? Let's start. Which camera would you prefer?
Well, so-
as you are talent.
Actually, Dada, we'll just stay wide, and then off the wide shot, let's just go straight into the image, the first image. Yeah, that one. But because the imagery for this one is just really freaking cool, so we don't need to see my ugly mug. I mean, we can when
We were just staring at it 3 seconds ago. There you go.
see if I can crash the camera again. All right, let's do this again.
RBF, resting Ben face.
That's magical. All right,
Someone
let's do
said
this
that in
thing.
the chat room
Let's do
earlier.
this thing.
So there's even more news that we didn't get a chance to get to in Orbit 10.35, although you did allude to this in the main show.
A little bit.
And then made everyone wait for it. So
You're welcome,
it's
Internet.
all yours now.
Yeah. I'll be talking about Stratolaunch, which is they got some pretty cool stuff going on. What you're looking at are 6 Pratt & Whitney PW 4056. I wanted to say Pratt & Whitney Rocketdyne after that. Turbofan jet engines of the carrier aircraft. So think of this like Spaceship Two, but much, much, much bigger. The company said that the engines were put through a series of tests. They started them one at a time and then allowed them to idle. Now, it didn't sound like they actually brought them up to full thrust yet. That's due to happen over the next few months. Next up, they're going to continue engine tests and start taxi tests. Look how cool that is. They got 6 of those things on this jumbo 747 that's been sliced in half. The Stratolaunch carrier aircraft has a wingspan of 117 meters, making it the largest span of any aircraft in the world. It weighs over 225,000 kilograms empty, and nearly 340,000 kilograms when fully fueled. It can carry payloads of nearly 250,000 kilograms. Now, initially, this carrier aircraft will loft ATK's Pegasus XL rocket, but it could have the capability to lift 3 of those rockets at the same time. That first flight could happen as early as 2019. Now, with Orbital ATK looking to be purchased by Northrop Grumman, it would bring that family of rockets in-house. Look at how huge that thing is. It's just ginormous. In 2007, Northrop Grumman purchased Scaled Composites outright, and they had previously owned 40% of the company. So at this point, Northrop Grumman is going to own Scaled Composites for that part of it. Orbital ATK can make the rockets that go on that thing. I mean, it's going to be a really cool vertical integrated structure, all of which we covered in this last week's news.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Ben. On Orbit 10.35, Jared had a great interview with Skylab astronaut Jerry Carr. And if you're interested in this, that, or just about anything space, feel free to join us live every Saturday at 1800 UTC.
I nailed it as much as I'm ever going to nail it.
Yep.
So
That was good.
I was yelling at you. I was excited. Look at that. This thing's huge. It's huge.
Fired up.
Oh!
Spelled with 7 U's.
Oh, man. Woo! Uses 1.21 gigawatts.
Makes me wonder now if this could be like a potential way to, kerbal together some new rockets with Orbital ATK's massive inventory of different solid rockets. And I'm not even talking the ones that are used for ICBMs. I'm talking other ones that they could use commercially. If that will be something that they could put together to potentially start launching with straddle launch, aside from, the 3 Pegasus at a time.
Man, you really look at this Northrop deal with Orbital ATK, and it seems to make a lot of sense, right? I mean, they're going to be able to do some really, really cool things in-house. Not that they can't already, but I think this is going to enable them to do some really quite amazing things in space, assuming that's the direction they take it. So I'm kind of excited for it.
At least the space side of the business will be big, because all the other departments of Northrop Grumman are very, very big. I mean, just their aviation division alone is, I was just trying to read up on it. It was, upwards of $50 billion a year just in that. I mean, they're even working on like the F-35 program, and just, it's crazy. It's so crazy.
That's a really cool graphic, Dada.
So there was a couple of people in the chat room that are asking about what, like U2s and things like that. No, these are the largest wingspans in the world ever.
Yeah, that's you have to look at it from tip to tip, right? So
Right.
I tried to use words that were concise and quick and convey the idea that it's largest by wingspan, not necessarily largest by anything else.
So you've got the Boeing 747, which is much bigger than a 737, and a U2 is smaller than a 737. And then you've got the next one up at 79.8 meters is an Airbus A380.
That's the biggest one they make.
88.4 meters is a AN225 Mariah, and then 97.5 meters for the H4 Spruce Goose, and this is 117 meters. So
And consider this, an Airbus A380, which is probably the one that most people have the easiest time seeing, it's also freaking huge.
Yeah, it is.
There's a
Massive.
behemoth of an airplane, and this is bigger than that from a wingspan standpoint. It's got it. Yeah. Thanks. What'd you say? A big snoot to poop?
Big snoot to boot.
To boot.
To boot.
Boop.
Boot.
Not boot. You would never boot a snoot. You'd only boop snoots.
Oh my God, Jared, you hurt my head.
Good show today.
Smokey
My
Dirk, did
goodness.
you
I'm
explain
really
that we are very married? Like very, very married.
Wait, what are we talking? Did I say something? Oh, jeez, stupid in the chat, or did I say something stupid again?
I mean, don't you usually?
You give her the chance, she'll tell you everything stupid you said.
Are you like
We don't have that kind of time.
married?
No, we're very married.
Yeah, we're super married.
Well, yeah, by the way,
Ultra married.
That was Anomaly earlier who said our RBF, resting Ben face. That's great.
Thanks, Anomaly. That's great. Thank you. Oh, God, how long have we been married for? 16 years now? No, really. I know you're laughing, but it seems hysterical. But we really have been married for.
You're like, how long has this been?
Yeah. Oh God.
Today is my parents' anniversary, 44 years.
Wow! Congratulations. Kat said today is her parents' anniversary, 44 years.
So if
'Cause
you're
I have the
still watching,
microphone.
happy anniversary.
I see where it's coming from. So Smokey Durg said in the chat room, and by the way, thank you, Smokey.
Smokey.
Jeez, it's gonna be one of those.
Jeez.
God. Smokey Durg, my dad started trash talking the show, so I had to defend you. No one puts tomorrow in a corner. But what did he say? Hang on, it's further down. Hang on. It's somewhere in here. I've lost it.
I'm not gonna lie. Many years ago, wherever it was, 2008, I think, when I first saw Space Vidcast.
Yeah.
Before you guys said something in the After Dark segment, I honestly thought that you guys were like brother and sister or something like
Gross.
that. It was like, oh, they're married. Oh, okay, that makes much
Right. Well,
more
when you
sense.
spend too much time together, you do start to resemble one another. We get brother and sister a lot, mostly because we do love each other, but we're definitely not in love with each other.
I mean, it's not
big
untrue.
difference. Big difference.
Right.
Big difference.
So that I think a lot lot of people pick up
Brotherly
on
love,
that vibe.
universal love, and romantic love. You can have one of them.
Yes. But the thing is, the biggest deal, though, the reason I don't make a big deal out of that, I don't know about you. I mean, our names are the same.
Oh, you mean on the show, like the marriage thing?
Yeah. Is that...
I don't think it's relevant to the show.
I don't think it's relevant to the show. I don't think I don't want it to detract anything from the show.
I don't see how it helps the show at all. Like, I don't know that you need that in order to get excited about space.
Right.
I mean, I don't mean to put words in your mouth, but
No. I mean, that's pretty much it. And
You do that all the time.
put words in her mouth, yeah. And I do mean to do it. So Smokey Durr continues saying he started saying, quote, "These people have no lives." Although, to be fair,
So here's the funny part. The funniest part about that is that we do. We have so much life. It's ridiculous. Like, Jared's got 2 different space jobs. We each have a space job and the show.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like we don't do things. It's just that this is all that we do. So, yes, we don't have a life because we're doing this. But then...
This is my life.
But exactly as Jared just said, and I know you can maybe
Jared
hear him.
can turn his mic back
He
on.
can
if
turn his
wants
mic
to.
back on. He's just chosen not to. Is that this is our life.
although, so these people have no lives. Have to. None of them are married. Actually, that's 2/3 wrong. Of everyone here, Carrie Ann and I are married. There's 6 people here, right? There's Carrie Ann, myself, Dutta, Kat, Jared, and Mike, right?
Right.
Jared and Mike are the only 2 that are not married.
But they
Unless
could
there's
be, 'cause
something I don't know, Mike.
That's legal now.
No, nothing I don't know. Okay.
That's right. We could.
Jared, I have a universal love for you, but I have,
Right, I
have
do
other
too.
plans.
So
I have
yeah.
other plans.
It's all right. We can friend zone each other.
for sure.
'Cause I have a boyfriend anyhow, so.
That's okay, Jared.
Cool,
Just love
good,
for your
good.
life.
I'm happy for you. And I have a girlfriend, so there's
Yeah.
that whole thing.
And it's
going
not
on,
just
so,
Kylo
yeah.
Ren. It's an actual physical person. So.
Kylo's going to be very disappointed.
Destructor 1701.
Not if no one tells him, Dada.
I won't read it back out loud, but yeah, that's that's how I feel, right? Like, no one cares. That's not going to make any difference.
Doesn't matter.
This changes everything. Oh my God. So, and then Smokey said I can just call him Smokey, but
Thank you, Vax. Vax has been on the show 7 times. He works in the space industry. He's been married for 30 years. So somebody's got a job, a life, and a marriage.
yeah.
There's at least one.
Wow, that really improves his credibility. Married for 30 years. Wow, that's that makes it so much more believable.
Well, Smokey, here's the thing, Smokey. This show is not going to. I have no idea how I did that. I was able.
Yeah, Smokey Dirk, understandable, right? There is a huge misconception from the general populace that once NASA stopped flying their own astronauts, that somehow all of NASA shut down. P.S. All of NASA equals all of space. Like, I don't understand where that concept comes from. It's still, it was weird to me even before we started the show. Anyway, so, and that can be very hard to grasp and to get a hold of and to understand. So once you start digging into that, like, there's that surface kind of stuff of other people are flying things into space on purpose that are not missiles. There's a lot more, right? There's a lot. And the thing is that if you care to look into it, there's plenty of different ways, interesting avenues. There is a place for you in space, even though I hate things that rhyme like that. But at the same time,
I'm gonna put that on the back of the shirts. There's
No.
a place for you in space.
Please don't.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
No.
Space bump.
Compromise and say there's a place for you in the cosmos?
No.
Anyway, my point is though but that can also be very overwhelming, that when you do start, say you decide that you have an interest or you have rediscovered your interest in space, then you start looking into it and you're like, man, that could be anything. It could be anything. Somebody earlier in the chat room, my name's a Jim, my name's a Jeff, I think was the username's name, said something along the lines of like, look, if I don't have a scientific background, how do I get involved or interested or support this community? And I was like, I don't know, you make a YouTube page. You could also make coffee for people who are in those industries, right? Like, we've discussed this a couple of times, is once we get off of this planet, whether it be into some sort of spacecraft, space station, a moon, another planet, anything along those lines, there's going to be a need, not just a want, a need for one of everything that we already have here. So if you're a farmer, we're going to need farmers in space. If you make coffee, we're going to need that too. If you make sports ball products, we're going to need those sorts of things as well. Like, we're going to need not just the highly scientific people and the biggest, the brightest, the smartest, the strongest. We're going to need one of everything. So whatever it is that you do here, that you do now, you do probably in some small way, whether you realize it or not, support the entire space industry in one manner or not. If you are the guy who creates the really cool t-shirts, then you can create space designs and then space people can buy them, right? Like, there was, just on Twitter recently, there were a picture of like Aloha Saturdays or something like that on the International Space Station. It was like the entire crew is wearing like this space-themed Hawaiian shirt, which was really cool. And somebody had to design the shirt, somebody had to make the shirt, somebody had to send the shirt, so space FedEx, if you will. Like, whatever it is that you're doing, you can still support. I make coffee. I make coffee for people who do really amazing things in space. But what I do is I make coffee. That's what I do.
It's really good coffee.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But
Without that coffee, we wouldn't be able to make numbers work.
But that's the thing, is that, I don't.
That is very true of many of the engineers. They do not function before their coffee.
Right. Thank you. I appreciate it. But I'm just saying that I think a lot of times people in a position that's very similar to mine of, well, I mean, I just make coffee, feel as though there isn't a way for them to get involved, there isn't a way for them to support, there isn't a way for them to really make any sort of difference. And the answer to that is that's just simply not true. There's always a way, there's always an avenue, there's always somehow you can connect your interests and space. Absolutely.
Vax says engineers are animals that turn coffee into hardware.
I recently saw a T-shirt that said something along the lines of the inputs were problem and coffee to the engineer. At the other side was the answer. Thank you. And then, of course, the side effect was sarcasm. There was an engineer friend of mine that suggested, though, that arrow from the solution should loop all the way back to the problem.
Yes.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jackson's
I mean,
one of my favorites.
I like the basic premise of what you're saying, though. You know, whatever your skill, whatever your interest, whatever it is that you do, there is a way that you can contribute in the space industry here on the ground right now.
I mean, for crying out loud, like, we
For
joke
Pete's sake.
so many times over, and yet it's still true, the Russian toilet works so much better than the US toilet. So if you have any interest in plumbing in any way,
Fix the space toilets.
fix the space toilet, man. There will be some sort of area somewhere for you in space. If that's where your passion lies, no matter what it is you're doing, you can contribute absolutely.
If your passion is in the pipes. There you go. There's the shirt.
Yeah, there's an entire documentary about sex in space. Ben,
What? Where did that come from?
your insinuation,
No, there's the shirt.
your tauntauns.
Oh, my tauntaun? I didn't even
Yes.
realize it did tauntauns.
Are you serious? You
Oh,
just
yeah.
talked about pipes in space. Are you
Oh
really?
my God, that's hilarious. They are tauntauns. I just didn't realize it. Oh, tauntauns. For those who don't know, because I don't think we've ever explained that on the show, double entendre are Carrie and I refer to as tauntauns, which in and of itself are tauntauns.
Is a double entendre. All right, good.
Oh man. Well, this has been a great show, but I got to get going, guys.
See you, Space Mike. Thank you.
Is there anything that you guys want to talk about before I get going?
No, I was just making sure that there wasn't because I'm not actually here next week. I just want to make sure that you're all set. You have everything you need for IAC roundtable and whatnot. You're good?
I think so, as long as you guys have a good broadcast.
Me too.
No pressure.
Thanks. See you, Space Mike.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Somebody in the chat room was saying that for the rocket launch tonight, we should use Periscope instead of the Mevo. So,
All right. Do whatever you want.
I don't know. What would you like me to do?
Whatever you want. Problem with. I mean, yeah, whatever you want. We're on Periscope right now. We're on all of the things right
I
now.
just need access to the Periscope account in order to
It's the Twitter account. You should have it. If you did that whole
Dashlane.
Dashlane thing, then you have it.
I'll do that when I get home.
Cool.
Anything
Rocket
else?
launch. Rocket launch. Rocket launch.
No, I think we got to get Jared off to a rocket launch. Oh yeah, and we have an appointment we need to get to. So on that note, thank you, entire internet. I will probably actually be here next week with a much more disheveled beard.
You really think you're gonna make it in?
Oh man, I don't know. It's gonna be tight because I think I land
You'd have to come basically directly
straight
from the airport.
here. Oh yeah, and that's a 16 and a half. Lisa, I don't. Anyhow, I don't know. I don't know if I'll be here next week, but you all have a great show, and you guys too. I'll put the YouTube stuff back to regular latency for next week's show, and thanks everyone, and something IAC.